So here's my 2021 planner. I think we should read it. Hi, and welcome back to Keeping Your Heart. My name is Renee, and I'm so glad you're here, whether you're new or you're coming back. Thank you so much for tuning in to continue on this journey as we explore the ways we keep our hearts open and engaged as we walk alongside others. That looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but for this channel, what we're looking at are things like self-care and organization and wellness and all kinds of things that help us to stay present and in tune and engaged with people, so we're not preoccupied, we're not distracted by other things, we can take care of ourselves. So that's what this whole thing's about. My name is Renee, and this is one of my favorite things I do each year is getting the journal, the bullet journal, ready for the annual kickoff. And so I actually did finish one of my bullet journals this last year. This is, I think I did 3 this year. I'm gonna look in here. Yeah, I did 3 of these. And so there's a lot of mess in here, and there's a lot of unfinished tasks. And so we can talk about that a little bit later too. But this is the layout process video. I got most of it. The camera did stop during part of it, which is a continual frustration of mine. But you'll get to see a little bit of the goals and the plans that I have set up, the things that I'm tracking, the things that I'm focusing on, and I hope that gives you some inspiration. This was very sticker and washi focused in a lot of places, and I did just stick with about 3 colors of highlighters, Mildliners actually. And so that I'm trying to do something that's a little more like simple, with kind of simple layouts, so that it feels accessible to anybody who hasn't done a layout before, that you don't have to be an artist that paints in your journal. You can, but you don't have to be. And so while there is a little bit of drawing on the cover page, the rest of it really is very simple. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I just want to remind you before we begin to go ahead and subscribe and click that little bell so that you'll be notified anytime that I put a video up or I go live, which happens occasionally. And other than that, let's go ahead and get on to the process. Okay, so you're going to see briefly the washi tape and stickers that I used to draw inspiration from. So I have focused on these 3 kind of colors of more of a periwinkle and a light teal green, seafoam green maybe, and a red that's very pinky. Interestingly enough, halfway through that little red marker gave out on me, so I had to make some adjustments. But you'll see here I'm drawing in this floral motif around, and this was inspired by one of the washi tapes, and I just ran with it. And then you see I take one of the PITT artist markers and PITT pens and draw around to really highlight those floral pieces. So it gives it almost a stained glass effect here. So I really appreciate that. I'm very drawn to the florals right now, and you'll see later as I draw in my quote that it's going to be a big part of the theme. One of the things that you'll notice as we go through this is that I have gone through and sketched things out in pencil to give me an idea of where I want things, and I sometimes follow it and sometimes don't. Oh, this was fun. I took a new PITT marker that I had not used before to write in the "Where flowers" and "So does hope," and that was really fun to use, and used a metallic marker for the word "bloom." I feel like we could really use more hope for this year. So starting out here with my year at a glance, and this is where I'm going to write in a calendar for the year I do start my weeks on Mondays. I count Saturday and Sunday as a weekend together, and Monday is the beginning of the week. And one of the ways that I make sure that I'm on the right date throughout the calendar is to figure out where the first day of the month is, and then just write down 8, 15, 22, 29, and continue that on to finish up the months. Boy, was my hand tired after this, for sure. And then going ahead and giving a little bit of color at the top of each of those calendars and writing in an abbreviated title for each month. And then next you see me moving to my 22 before 2020. And so this is not the kind of goals that I would be setting an action plan for. This is more of a, boy, I really like to kind of do that. So some of the things that are on there are certain yoga poses I would like to do this year. There's also some places I would like to, but this is really just more of those fun things I would like to do, kind of bucket list things. Then you see me moving on to the Calendex. So I use this every year, and this helps me to be able to plan further in advance throughout the year. So I'm going to put 5 months into this Calendex because I do have some significant plans already booked through May. And what I can do is I will link the Calendex video here in the cards and down in the comments in the description box, so that you can see where you can go to get more information about how the Calendex works. But it is basically an index callback that you can use throughout your bullet journal to record major dates and then be able to retrieve those whenever you need to. One of the things you see me doing on the bottom here is the color coding for different spheres of my life, which includes family, personal, business, and work. And over here on the right, I am putting in the future log, and so this is much further in the future and just some specific dates for things that we know are coming in the future, and we'll continue to fill that out. And then of course, as time goes by and I work through this planner and go to the next one, I will be moving things off the future log onto the Calendex, but this is just to keep it for 2021. So these annual objectives, I do these for my business each year. But this one is going to really be specifically for myself, because I have branched out and now have different planners for different spheres of my life, so that I can keep things very focused when the thing is in front of me. So you'll see those regular 5 pillars of financial, spiritual, mental, physical, and what's cut down on the bottom of the screen is relational. So I have some objectives of what would I like my life to look like by the end of the year. And part of that is the 6-month visualization that says, here's where my relationships are, this is what they look like. And that really gives me something to keep in mind as to what I'm working for. And then this really honest question that I just love incorporating each year is, who must I become? So what is the difficulty between where I want to be and where I'm at? What do I have to change? Who do I need to become? What do I need to do more or less of? So here's where you see an annual plan, and this is not so much the goals, but the idea of keeping in mind the different seasons that I will go through and my family goes through, as far as when there's big events, or there's big focuses or goals or times that need to be set aside. And so this is really sort of planning for these bigger goals. What does my life look like, so that I can set time aside for when I am going to work on things, and when I'm setting time aside for focusing on family efforts and all of that. So that's what that one's about. So then this next one is annual goals. And so I worked out a really specific little template for this, and my goal is to have a version of this on the website and in the Etsy shop for people to be able to download. And so when that happens, if you're a subscriber or you are visiting this channel, I will put that in the description box below so that you can access that. And so I was playing around with this as I was creating it and realizing that I wanted to change some things. So it looks very different and it evolves throughout this particular process. But the goal box, each one of those is a goal, a target date, a finish date, action items, the goal deadline for that action item, and then when it was achieved. And so you'll see it's even a little different on the other side. So this one was actually a lot of fun. As I was doing it, I was thinking to myself, that looks an awful like Craftsman stained glass. It was really kind of fun. So I'm looking forward to filling this out, and then each month the action items that are due in that month will go onto the monthly spread so that I can keep track of all of the different things that I'm working toward. So trying to be very intentional about how I'm breaking up the goals into these action items. And I'm introducing a little bit of pink here because it was the spread right before this, the pages right before this, that the pink marker just died. So this is how I'm going to incorporate it. Unfortunately, this is one of those spreads that where the camera stopped, so you don't get to see the whole process, but here is where we saved for Christmas, vacation, debt reduction, emergency savings, and for the dream box. This was very helpful this year because it allowed us to go into Christmas and have a debt-free Christmas this year. So that was very successful, as well as saving up for vacation, which of course we didn't get to use very much of because 2020. And then we'll see this jump right over to where there's the weight tracker and wellness, where I pasted that in, and that's from Auntie Tay. I will link her website below. Heading into this next one, it is the Pen Pal layout. And so this is where I'm keeping track of the different letters to and from Pen Pals. And I completely fell off the Pen Pal wagon last year because I was so focused on just nurturing the relationships with the people that I'm friends with. So I'm hoping to get back on that. And then of course this will be the word of the year, which will be revealed in another video at another time. We did a process video live, which I will also link up above in the card here and down in the box below. That was lots of fun. So here you go. There is 2021. I really enjoy designing and doing that whole spread for the beginning of 2021. I felt like it was a great kickoff. It felt very clean. It felt very satisfying to me to have that. So I'm going to show you for just a moment, because it went so fast in the video, that the book that I really focused the colors on came from this Happy Planner Year to Shine. And I really love a lot of the stickers in here. Very much my aesthetic, with a lot of the copper and these colors that you saw me use throughout. And so that was a great source of inspiration for me. And then I just found washi tapes in my collection that had the same color scheme and other stickers, and of course the Mildliners. So that was a lot of fun for me. As we talked about before, last year I didn't get through a lot of my goals. I don't think I was the only one. I don't think I was the only one who had a hard time tracking some things. Very much we were in a lot of survival and trying to get from one part of life to the next and take care of ourselves and take care of other people. And so a lot of those boxes went unchecked, and a lot of my trackers went unfilled. And that was okay for that season because that's where we're at. I'm really looking forward to getting some more order and focus in 2021. So not for busy. I really want to keep holding on to the intention and attention that I learned a lot of in 2020, but in 2021, I want to focus that in. So you'll see a lot of that coming up in some of the other videos that we'll be doing about what is our focus and how are we really narrowing down to be able to put our energies in those spaces so that when someone comes to us for help, that we're not preoccupied with all the things that we haven't done, but we've been able to focus and complete those things that we need to do and then be available to them when they need it. So that's really where we're going, hopefully. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't predict the future, but that's the goal for this time. So I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below. And of course, check me out on the Instagram here, where you can see other spreads and inspiration and things that are going on throughout the month. Feel free to learn a little bit more about what's going on here at the website. And we've got a great mailing list. And certainly when I put like the stickers or the different layouts up on the Etsy or on the shop, you'll get an email about that as well. So here's some videos that you can watch. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and let's have a great 2021 together. Don't forget to keep your heart. Bye.